Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the lesson. Now we are looking at the reading comprehension questions, all right, that are dealing with the article that we did, the short story of the cat that walks by himself. Okay, so just make sure that you understood the reading comprehension quite well so that the answers that you gather here are accurate. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. Number one, which is not one of the ways that the woman improves the man's life? Is it A, she moves the man out of his pile of wet leaves? B, she teaches the man to clean up after himself? C, she starts the fire and keeps it fed? Or D, she attracts helpful animal companions? Okay, so if we do go back to the article, if you revert back to the article, you recall that she did move the man out of the wet wild leaves, as they stated it here. So, as we can see, if we read here, of course, the man was wild too. He was dreadfully wild. He didn't even begin to be tamed till he met the woman, and she told him that she did not like living in his wild ways. She picked out a nice dry cave instead of a heap of wet leaves to lie down in, and she strewed clean sand on the floor, and she lit a nice fire of wood at the back of the cave, and she hung a dry wild horse skin tail down across the opening of the cave. Alright, so we can clearly see that the woman was able to move the man out of the pile of wet leaves, and she also started the fire and kept it fed, not only for the man but for the cat as well. And D is also correct. She attracts helpful animals. She attracted the horse, the first servant. She attracted the dog, the friend, and the cow. All right. So B is the only one here that seems as if it is not true. She teaches the man to clean up after himself. So nowhere in the article, nowhere in the story is she teaching the man to clean up after himself. To keep the cave clean, yes, but to clean up after himself, that's not really detailed. All right, number two. What is the main reason why the wild dog approaches the cave? A, he is hungry. B, he is attracted to the warmth of the fire. C, he is trying to protect the other animals. Or D, he wants to be petted by the man and the woman. So what is the main reason why the wild dog approaches the cave? So if we do recall, there was that instance when the dog approached the woman and looked at the bone, if I'm not mistaken. And then the dog was provided access so long as he could help the friend. So the wild dog crawled into the cave and laid his head on the woman's lap, said, "Oh, my friend and wife of my friend, I will help your man to hunt through the day and night, and at night I will guard your cave." Okay, so basically, let's see here, let's go. Yes. So the woman said as well, if we look above, it says, "The wild thing out of the wild woods, help my man to hunt through the day and night and guard this cave at night, and I will give you as many roast bones as you need." Yes, so he was offered food. So clearly, the first one is the correct one. A, he is hungry. That is the main reason why the wild dog approached the cave. So number three, which statement about the cat is false? Which statement is not true? A, the cat is sneaky. B, the cat finds a way to get what he wants. C, the cat's attitude gets him into trouble. Or D, the cat is eager to please others. So A, the cat is sneaky. Of course, we know that is true. The cat was sneaky, especially how he got the woman to praise him. He did it in a very conniving manner. Okay, then B, the cat finds a way to get what he wants. That is true. We've seen that in several instances in the article. He was able to stay by the cave and eventually even drink milk and sit by the fire. Let's look at C. The cat's attitude gets him into trouble. So the way the man and the dog treated the cat, you could tell that the cat was in a bit of trouble because of the way it responded to them. Then we've got D. The cat is eager to please others. In no instance, in no way, shape or form is the cat concerned about pleasing others. In fact, I recall, if you go back to the article, the cat was very adamant that he wanted to be by himself, that he wanted to walk by himself, and he did not care about what the man or the dog would think of him, even when the woman told him that they may have a problem. He did not care. Okay, number 4. Which is the correct order of events? A. The cat and the woman make a deal. The baby is born, and then the horse becomes the man's servant. B. The dog becomes man's friend. The baby is born, and then the cat meets the woman for the first time. C. The horse becomes the man's servant. The baby is born, and then the dog becomes man's friend. Or D. The cat meets the woman for the first time, the baby is born, and then the cat angers the man. So, what do you think is the correct sequence? What is the correct order of these events? Okay, so let's go through each single one of them. The cat and the woman, A, right? The cat and the woman make a deal. The baby is born, and then the horse becomes a man's servant. So this is incorrect if you look at the order of the events. Okay, the cat made the deal. The baby was born. That already is incorrect. Then the horse becomes a man's servant. The horse became the man's servant before all of that. So A is not true. B. The dog becomes man's friend, the baby is born, and then the cat meets the woman for the first time. The cat did not meet the woman for the first time in that sequence, so that is incorrect. Then we've got C. The horse becomes a man's servant, the baby is born, and then the dog becomes man's friend. The dog became man's friend way before that. In fact, the dog became man's friend before the horse was man's servant. Then we have D. The cat meets the woman for the first time, the baby is born, and then the cat angers the man. So this seems like this is the correct order of events. So the cat met the woman, the baby was born, and then the cat angers the man, which was towards the end of the story. Okay, then number 5. Which character is also known as the giver of good food? Was it A, the man, B, the woman, C, the cow, D, the cat? So let's remove the ones that are not true. So perhaps maybe you already know the answer. That is correct. So that is great, So let's look at A. The man was never described as a giver of good food, the woman as well. The cat, never. It is only the cow, the giver of good food, because the cow could produce milk, right? So the correct answer there is C for number 5. Then number 6. The cat makes a deal with the woman by doing all of the following except. So which one did she not do? Okay, the cat makes a deal with the woman by doing all. Which one did the cat not do? Right. So A, the cat plays with the baby. B, the cat helps the baby sleep. C, the cat flatters the woman. Or D, the cat makes the man laugh. Okay, so if we have a look here, right, number 6, this one is quite clear. The cat played with the baby, and it pleased the woman. B, the cat helps the baby sleep. It helped the baby sleep. It actually fell asleep in its arms. Then C, the cat flatters the woman. Yes, he was able to flatter the woman in the second part of the page, the second page of the reading comprehension, if I'm not mistaken, if it was the second page or towards the end of the first. Alright, so we've got one left here. The cat makes the man laugh. So the man was not impressed by the cat, and it was clearly demonstrated by the fact that he was willing to throw his boots at it. And every man after him would do the same thing. Okay, then number 7. Which animal is the cat's closest friend? It's A, the bat, B, the dog, C, the horse, D, the cow. So if we look at all of these animals, the cat has a lower kind of view on all these animals. Especially the horse, the dog, and the cow, because they went up to the woman looking for food, and they basically gave themselves off to do any kind of, like any form of labor for the woman. But there was only one animal here that was reporting actually to the cat and told the cat what was going on, and actually told the cat about the baby, right? So if you remember that, it was the bat. If you got that correct, well done. Okay, number 8. What is the author's purpose in referring to the reader as best beloved? A, he truly appreciates each and every one of his readers and is expressing his love. B, he is acting as though the story is being told to a child. C, he is writing the story in the olden days when everyone was called best beloved. Or D, he wants the reader to feel comfortable, so he is being sweet and endearing. Okay, so let's look at each and every one of them. What is the author's purpose in referring to the reader as best beloved? He truly appreciates each and every one of his readers and is expressing his love. I would not select this. Doesn't seem as if that was being portrayed by the author. Then let's have a look at B. He is acting as though the story is being told to a child. I think that would be the most accurate, especially in the wording that he would use there. So B would be correct. Okay, if you got this one correct, well done. That one was not so easy. And then number 9, this one's also not so easy, dealing with parts of speech. So, which poetic device or technique is used in the following sentence? So let's read this out. The smoke of the fire at the back of the cave came down in clouds from the roof. Puff. So, A, is it a rhyme? B, is it a simile? C, is it onomatopoeia? Onomatopoeia, right? D, is it repetition? So if we start off with A, there is no rhyme scheme here. If you look at the sentence, there are no words in this particular sentence that rhyme. So that is incorrect. B, if we look at if we can locate any kind of simile, there's no kind of simile there. There's no kinds of comparison. So that is not true. And then if we look at C, onomatopoeia, right? That is basically words that describe particular sounds. So like puff or sizzle, when you put something on a pan and then perhaps you put a patty on a pan that's got some oil on it, then makes that sizzling sound. So that word sizzle is an example of an onomatopoeia, right? Bit of a tongue twister there. All right, then let's go on to number 10. This text attempts to explain each of the following except A. This text explains why cats catch mice. B. This text explains why cats always land on their feet. C. This text explains why cats and dogs fight. Or D. This text explains why cats get along with babies. So this text attempts to explain each of the following except. So if we look at each and every one of them, right, we have to look at one that is not true, right? So the text is showing what the cat can do, but this one is saying except, so one that the cat doesn't do. It's not portraying that in the text. So A, this text explains why cats catch mice. Yes, there are several examples there that demonstrate that. The agreement that the cat had with the man and the woman. B, this text explains why cats always land on their feet. So there's no instance where that was explained or elaborated on, but definitely C and D were true. It explained why cats and dogs fight, and it also explained why cats get along with babies. Alright, okay, so let's look at that extended response there. So answer the following questions in complete sentences on a separate sheet of paper. Use evidence from the text to support your response and explain your answer completely. So, the cat makes a lot of enemies in the story. What is it about the cat that offends so many others? Which character traits do the others find offensive? Support your answer with at least 2 examples from the text. So, if you revert back to the text, no matter how you construct this, so long as you state one of these points, right, that the way the cat carried itself, it was a bit arrogant. It assumed that it was highly important and it did things by itself, and it wanted to benefit out of being conniving with the woman, right? So ensuring that it was able to get all the luxurious things, right? Like the cave, sitting by the fire and drinking milk. So just getting things with no sort of labor, So this, of course, upsets the man and it upset the dog as well. So long as you state one of these points within your answer, then that will be good. Or if you can find something else, so long as you support it with text from the article, then that would be perfect. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well done for going through this. If you got your answers correct, all of them, exceptional, well done. Okay, and if you didn't, just go back, revisit it, and make sure that you understand it a bit more clearly. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the next lesson. Take care.